The fifth week of the National Football League season kicks off tonight just down the road. The Rams against the, I don't know how many times you could say shorthanded, undermanned, injured San Francisco 49ers this year. I guess this is the fourth time we're saying it because they did have Brock Purdy and they did have George Kittle in the first week of the season. They did have Juwan Jennings. They did have Ricky Pearsall. They won't have those guys tonight as it looks like Brock Purdy came back too soon. I don't know, but he didn't look himself. The Jaguars knocked him around, and he's not answering the bell with that toe injury for this short week contest. So it's Mac Jones again. It's 3-1 versus 3-1. Jackson Smith and Jigba is again going to be joining us in this first hour. His Seattle Seahawks are 3-1. So the loser of this game will be looking up at Seattle, which is welcoming Tampa at 3-1 into their house. So a lot of 3-1 teams in the mix right now in the NFC, trying to stay close to the 4-0 Philadelphia Eagles. The 3-1 Lions are in Cincinnati this weekend. So in the NFC, it all starts tonight. Can the Rams take advantage of a short week home contest against the San Francisco 49ers team that is banged up? It seems like every year, the Rams and the Niners. Last year, remember that? Everyone was hurt in this game pretty much. Cooper Kupp didn't make it. Puka Nacua did make it back just in time. It just seems to be every year these two teams face each other on a Thursday night where they're not full strength, and this is another one. And we'll see if the Niners can use smoke and mirrors and a lot of Christian McCaffrey to get this thing done this evening against a Rams offense that's been clicking and is as an organization, one blocked field goal away from being 4-0, them being the only 4-0 team remaining in the NFC as opposed to being Philadelphia. And in terms of other things that are at stake, I've kind of broken it up into 4 categories. And it's fascinating. Week 5 now is the second quarter of an NFL season. Once we're through, I guess, halftime, I don't know how you divide up 17 into 4. I was told there would be no math on the Rich Eisen Show. But I've got 4 different categories. And the first one is obvious. You don't want to be 1-4. In the history of the National Football League Super Bowl era playoffs, there have only been 15 teams that started 1-4 and made the playoffs. The last one being the Washington football team during COVID 2020. And that 7-9 finish, as you know, won them the division. You remember that Giants-Eagles Sunday night game where for suddenly the Eagles wanted to see what they had in Nate Sudfeld and took Jalen Hurts out of the game, and Giants fans were like, what are you what are you doing?
Yeah. Didn't that get Doug Peterson fired?
Right.
Jeez.
And Doug Peterson did get fired. Jalen Hurts became the starting quarterback. But 7-9 won the division. The last team to start one, and I don't think 7-9 is going to win the division this year. So the last team to go 1-4 and make a wild card spot, 10-6. 2018 Indianapolis Colts. You don't want to fall to 1-4, and the teams that could fall to 1-4 with a loss this weekend: the Browns, the Raiders, the Giants, the Dolphins, the Panthers, the Texans, and the Ravens. And the Dolphins and the Panthers and the Texans and the Ravens play each other. Ooh. So somebody, unless it's another tie, and then we'll start talking about changing the overtime rules again. Somebody from those 2 games are going to finish 1-4. The Giants to start 1-4 are going to have to go to New Orleans and become the first victim of the Saints this year. The Raiders are taking on the Colts, a very tall order there, with the Colts starting 3-1, and the Browns, as we all know, are starting Dillon Gabriel against the Minnesota Vikings, who, as I mentioned yesterday, started blitzing 5 minutes ago on this rookie quarterback starting for the Browns. And I mentioned it yesterday. It's the 41st different starting quarterback for Cleveland since they came back into being in 1999. That's 11 more than the next team in the Bears at 30. And this will be the 13th rookie of the 41 different starters that the Browns are kicking the tires on. 13 different rookie quarterbacks. That's the most in the NFL since 1999 as well. So that's what everybody there is staring down. And Dillon Gabriel is also in the next category of quarterbacks that have something to prove. Both Ohio-based quarterbacks have something to prove. Jake Browning. Can we see the Jake Browning that took over for Burrow in 2023, who went 4-3 in his place? Can we see that guy? Because we haven't seen that guy at all yet. What we've seen is Jamar Chase being pissed off and basically saying, I'm not taking it into the next game. I wasn't taking it out on anybody. Jake Browning's got something to prove. Geno Smith has something to prove here, that he still has the trust of his coach. Pete Carroll's like, yeah, we're not there. I'm not there in terms of bringing in Kenny Pickett. Another multiple interception game for Geno Smith. He goes into Indianapolis. Ashton Genty is running as well as he did the previous game. The defense is balling out on Daniel Jones just as it was doing in the previous game against Caleb Williams, and he's turning it over. Will Pete stand pat again? That's a big one. Bryce Young is once again in the jackpot, it appears. It's time. Last year finished great. It started poorly. Then Andy Dalton gave him a sabbatical that ended because Dalton got hurt. Then he looked great. Now he's 1-3, and last week against New England, he looked lost. As lost as he's ever looked. He's got something to prove. Trevor Lawrence on Monday Night Football. Let's go, Trevor. Let's go. The defense is balling out. Travis Etienne, who's a guest on Friday's show, balling out. You're going 1v1 versus Patrick Mahomes in front of the whole country. This would be a great moment to just show up like Clemson, Trevor Lawrence, like Doug Peterson, first year Trevor Lawrence. I'll give you two more that, fascinatingly enough, have something to prove. How about Jaden Daniels? I know I went to high register on you right there. Didn't look all that great before he got hurt.
Interesting.
He's coming out with a brace. Is it going to be too soon against a Chargers team that wants to wipe losing to Jackson Dart right out of their mouths? Jaden Daniels doesn't play with a brace, I don't think, ever. But the doctors who are in charge, who have cleared him, have essentially said, you're putting on a brace. How's he going to look? Does he really have something to prove? I kind of think it's just like, let's see the Jaden Daniels from 2024. Because we haven't seen him for very much yet this year prior to him getting hurt. Now we'll see what happens with a brace. Can he show up and win this game for a Commanders team? That's the difference between 2-3 and 3-2 in this division and in this conference that I just started this segment with a bunch of 3-1 teams. That's pretty big for them out here in Los Angeles in week 5. And then here's another one. 2-2 Kyler Murray. He started 2-0. Now you're 0-2. And then he's saying things like this yesterday at the podium, talking about the new practice facility and the new Cardinals digs that are coming in the 2028 season. His contract runs through 2028. And he had this to say about seeing the renderings about what's coming for the Cardinals and their new facilities.
What do you mean? Was my reaction? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. Hope, well, I don't know what's coming out, but hope I'm here to see it.
Hope I'm here to see it.
Oof.
It's like, what does that mean? I hope I'm here to see it. Okay. He's 8-22 in his career against division opponents.
Maybe that's why he hopes.
Yeah.
That's potentially what's at stake. I don't know. He just lost 2 in a row to division opponents again. One on the road, one at home. And now he's got Cam Ward here, who could be, he's in another category that I'm moving on to, which is quarterbacks' arrivals. But he's also maybe got something to prove because he's taking on Kyler Murray. They're 0-4, the Tennessee Titans, and he's coming off of this soundbite. I wrote it down here. If we keep it a buck, right now we ass.
Yeah, I heard that. He said it. Yeah.
Okay. So that means keeping it real, 100, right? A buck is that? Am I
Come on, Rich, you know now,
okay.
baby.
Right now,
if we keep it real,
we ass.
Yeah.
So we don't need the soundbite. I think I did it justice.
Could I translate?
I don't know if he sounded like that.
Could I translate maybe for people? If we're going to be completely honest with the situation going on right now,
of course, yep.
We as a team, we're not playing very good football.
TJ Jefferson, thank you, sir. Now I get it.
Well done.
Time to arrive would be showing up in Arizona and doing this. And this is winning football. And 3 other quarterbacks can arrive in a way. I guess Cooper Rush is one. He's going to start for the Baltimore Ravens. We've seen this before. Can he show up like the Cowboys, Cooper Rush, and start nailing things down for the Baltimore Ravens?
You might hear about that.
Jackson Dart, can he show up and win 2 in a row for the Giants? And how about, you want to talk about a rival? Like a flat-out arrival. Like, here I am. Here I am, although we already talked about his arrival as a terrific 2024 draft choice playing this year. How about Drake May showing up on Sunday Night Football, going to Western New York with them wearing their new rival jerseys, all dressed in ice or whatever it is. The Bills are dressed all whatever.
Yeah.
They're icing up on Sunday night. The Bills are the only undefeated team in the AFC. What if Drake May shows up and is like, I've got this. I'm going to surprise everybody by playing just like Josh Allen, just like I've played over the last few weeks. And the Patriots upend the Bills and maybe many survivor pools from sea to shining sea.
Rich Eisen.
That's what's at stake for that. And here's just the last category, marquee games.
Stephon Diggs' revenge game.
And what? Okay. By the way, say what you will. That'll be something.
Yeah.
And May played against him last year, and so did Diggs last year. Remember the Texans?
Yeah.
But this is a different story, I guess, as well. He's back again.
Drake May's balling.
And that you could put that game on the marquee. It is a Sunday night game. They didn't flex out of it, which I think they had an option to. But at any rate, long story short, how about the Eagles and the Broncos? The Eagles passing game front and center. We'll talk about that later. A.J. Brown spoke on Wednesday. We'll play that on this Thursday show. And then the Broncos bandwagon that has been full for the entire summer into, I guess, the beginning of this season. This would be a way for the bandwagon people to say, I knew I was on the right wagon. If the Broncos come east and beat the Eagles and hand them their first loss of the season, the Monday night game I already discussed. If the Jaguars can place their calling card on the league and say, we wrapped up week 5 by telling the Chiefs, you haven't turned a corner yet. And then, of course, there's the Chiefs saying, oh, we turned the corner all right. That's a big Monday night game in week 5. I also mentioned the Chargers and the Commanders. The Commanders, again, get their guy back. How does Jaden Daniels look with a brace? Can he start looking like 2024? Let's get the offense cooking and getting the defense after Justin Herbert in a way the Giants did. And then there's the Chargers basically saying, we're going to take charging. And that was last week, was just an outlier. It was just a blip on the radar screen. The Bucs and the Seahawks. Who wants a piece of the division lead, folks? Seattle? The Bucs are playing this game with Atlanta on a bye week. They lose 2 in a row, and they lose to the Eagles and the Seahawks? Or do they go up to the Pacific Northwest and plant a flag, as Baker Mayfield did, something I may or may not remind Jackson Smith and Jigba about. Certainly, since Baker's got an Ohio State teammate of his as a teammate. And then lastly, there's the Lions. I understand Lions-Bengals may not be on your marquee, but the Lions are on a marquee, and they could win 4 in a row and basically say to everybody, we are just coming for you, biting kneecaps, yada, yada, yada. And Jake Browning, you're next. That's what's at stake. Texans, Ravens, you could put on the marquee because they were division winners last year. And then once again, the loser goes to 1-4. 1-4. And it looks like the Ravens are in trouble because Lamar's not walking through that door. He might be limping through it. And then we'll see what happens with the Ravens moving forward. And did the Texans last week against a Titans team that was ass. Is it just a Titans thing or is it a Texans thing? That's the stage that's set for week 5 in the NFL.
Love it. Love it.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.